All right, today we're diving into a new playbook that's totally rewriting the rules for how we live our lives online. We're going to break down two of the most powerful tools out there that are shaping what the internet's going to look like next, DAOs and NFTs. And trust me, these aren't just buzzwords. They represent a massive shift in how we organize ourselves, what we own, and how we interact on the web.
So let's just start with a pretty huge question. What if the internet that you use every single day wasn't run by a handful of massive companies? What if all the platforms, all the data, all the value, what if it was actually owned and controlled by the people who use it, you and me? That's the big promise that's driving this entire movement.
And this really gets to the heart of it, right? The internet we have now, what we call Web 2, it's all about centralized control. Big platforms own our data, and how they work is often a total black box. Well, Web 3 completely flips that script. It's this vision for an internet that's decentralized, where users actually own their stuff, and where everything is transparent. And it's all possible because of blockchain technology.
Okay, so how do you even organize people in this new decentralized world? That brings us to our first key tool. Organizations that are, and this is wild, literally run by code. Let's talk about DAOs. So a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO. What is it? Basically, think of it like an internet-native company or club. But instead of a rule book in a drawer somewhere, the rules are lines of code that run automatically on a blockchain. There's no CEO calling all the shots. Instead, the rules are out in the open, they're enforced by these things called smart contracts, and all the big decisions, they're made by the community.
And you can really break down any DAO into three key ingredients. First up, you've got the code, those smart contracts that are like the automated rulebook. Second, you have the community. These are the members, the people who hold tokens that give them voting power to steer the ship. And third, there's the capital, a shared bank account, basically, that funds all the projects the community votes to approve. It's a really powerful mix. Okay, so DAOs give us a whole new way to organize. But what about the stuff we own online? This is where our second tool comes into play, and it's completely changing what it means to own something in the digital world. Let's get into NFTs. Now, to really wrap your head around NFTs, you gotta get this one simple difference. The word fungible just means interchangeable. My dollar bill is the exact same as your dollar bill, and we can swap them, no problem. But non-fungible, that means it's unique. It's a one of one. Think about the Mona Lisa. There's only one of her. An NFT is just a way to make a digital thing provably unique, just like that. And this is the absolute key right here. An NFT isn't the thing itself. It's the proof of ownership of that thing. It's like a digital deed or a certificate of authenticity that's recorded on a super secure public blockchain. What that means is, for the first time ever, you can have real, verifiable ownership of a digital file. Could be art, music, an item in a video game, you name it. And look, if you think this is just some niche hobby, you've got to see these numbers. The NFT market is projected to absolutely explode, hitting over $3 billion in revenue by 2027. That is a massive signal that something fundamental is changing in how we think about value and ownership online. All right, enough theory. Let's get to the fun part. How does this playbook actually look out in the real world? How are people really using DAOs and NFTs to build cool things and create value right now? Well, the uses are all over the map. In finance, you've got DAOs running entire financial protocols, kind of like decentralized banks. In the art world, NFTs are a total game changer, letting artists automatically get a cut every single time their work gets resold. In gaming, players can now truly own their swords and shields and actually earn real money thanks to games like Axie Infinity. And even in something as traditional as real estate, NFTs are letting people buy and sell fractions of a property, opening up investment to way more people. I mean, just look at MakerDAO. It's one of the oldest and most respected projects in the space. It's a DAO that runs a huge stablecoin called DAI. And we're not talking about a little experiment here. This is a multi-billion-dollar financial system where huge decisions about things like interest rates are made by a global community of people who hold its tokens. It's an amazing proof of concept for this whole idea. But, it's not all smooth sailing, not even close. When you're building a whole new digital world from scratch, you're going to run into some serious challenges. So it's super important to look at both the roadblocks and what's coming up ahead. And the hurdles are pretty big. For one, governments are still trying to figure out how to even regulate all this stuff, which creates a lot of uncertainty. The markets, they're incredibly volatile, which makes a lot of people skeptical. Security is a constant worry. A bug in the code can lead to a devastating hack. And honestly, the tech is still pretty complex for the average person, and that's a huge barrier for getting everyone on board. And this all leads to one crucial takeaway. If this whole ecosystem is going to have a real future, the focus has to shift. It's got to move away from all the speculative hype and gambling and move towards creating real, actual value for people. The projects that are going to survive and thrive are the ones that solve real problems. So that leaves us with one final and really important question. The promise of DAOs and NFTs is huge, right? A more democratic, transparent internet that's owned by us, the users. But will these tools actually deliver on that promise and create a fairer digital world? Or will they just end up creating new, different kinds of power centers? The honest answer is we don't know yet. The story is still being written, and it's being written by the people who are building and using this tech today.